Welcome, Eva and Pietro, to the Well Vegan Travel Podcast. I'm so thrilled to have you joining me today.
Thank you so much for having us, Bridie. We're super excited.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, Pietro. I'm thrilled to have you both here. So it's kind of interesting that the topic that we are talking about today is sailing. And when I say sailing, I mean like mostly wind-powered sailing and the challenges and the rewards that brings. And certainly we've had a couple of challenges pressing record on this because there are so many challenges with the boat. And that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about today. But before we get into that, Eva and Pietro, would you mind giving us a quick little overview about what it is that you do in the vegan travel space?
So basically, we want to sail a boat with a vegan meals on board. It's an opening for this kind of people, and we want to show the beauty of our work, how we can do this job with little print on our planet.
I love that. I love that. Tell us a little bit about where you are and a little bit about the experience that people might have when they are doing a trip with you.
So we are mainly situated in the Aeolian Islands, and they are situated in the north of Sicily. It's a volcanic archipelago. We have sailed to quite some places, and the Aeolian Islands always stayed in our top list to see, and we never get tired of seeing them, because also what is so nice about these islands is that every one of them is just so different. And the nice thing is also that they are not so far from each other. So in 1 week time, you can easily see all of them and also see enough, not like you're rushing through it, but it's really nice. And that's basically what we want to do and offer, mainly during summer, is a 1 week holiday. So it's an excursion with our boat. And depending on the weather, we go to a volcano first, or first we go to Panarea. But that will depend on the wind, of course, because we want that to be our main force of movement and to use our engine as little as possible. So more or less, we will see 6 out of the 7 islands in 1 week. Alicudi is the 7th that we prefer not to visit in this 1 week, because it's basically one rock and it's not so easy to anchor around. You can only rent a buoy, which are very expensive. And then once you're on the island, there's really not much. There's not even any roads. I think the only traffic are donkeys and a couple of scooters. There's a small fishing village, but there's not much to see. So in 1 week time, it's better than to spend some more time on one of the other islands. Every night we go to a different bay to have some swim, or if the people want to go on shore, they can go on shore. We have a dinghy that can bring them on land when they want. Everything is all included. So we also give food on board. So 3 meals a day with also snacks and aperitivi. Of course, everything is vegan, which makes it also a little bit special in this industry, because we come from this industry. When you tell people, oh yeah, we're vegan sailors, but you don't fish on board? Yeah, no. So yeah, it's a kind of a new thing, let's say. And we're super excited to share our passion with the people that want to see these islands. So yeah.
Tell us a little bit about your product and what it is that you are contributing to the vegan travel space.
We like to think that we contribute because we are in a new field. So there are not so many vegan boats around the world, and especially in Italy. It's very difficult to find any. And also is a industry that is going more and more to the catamaran, which in our way, in our view, is definitely a consumism way. It's like a big villa with all the services, while we really want to sail and see and show how to sail around, how to use as less possible as petrol, how to move with the sail, how to anchor properly, not on any grass, but just on sand, also not to destroy any of the environment. We will try as much as possible. Obviously in August is a little bit more difficult, but look for wildlife, because it's very easy in Aeolian Island to see dolphins, to see turtles, And so many times we had also the opportunity to see whales, sperm whales around. The wildlife is really incredible out of the main season. This is really something that vegan people, I think, love. And I really ashamed that sometimes boating is seen just as a luxury field. Is actually the opposite. We try to spend as less as possible water because obviously we have tank and we don't want to use the engine, so to use less petrol. Of course, we are vegan, so in this way we try to consume less. Of course, we have also two SAP on board, so the people will go around with their own power, not using any fuel. So yeah, we are obviously open to all the view that vegan can give us, because obviously we are open to new ideas and to let our project evolve in the end.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. I really want to get into deep detail about what an experience on your boat would be like if somebody decided to join you for a week. But before we get to that, I would really like to know a little bit more about what brought you to this point, because actually sailing and boats specifically has been an integral part of your relationship together as a couple, correct?
Yes, of course. I've been working in the sailing boat for more than 10 years. I'm a little bit older than Eva, I have to say. We met on a Sea Shepherd vessel. We were working as volunteer, actually. We met in Aeolian. We did 3 months together. It was really an adventure. We really saved a lot of fishes. We were really proud of what we did. And it was a terrific experience. I was there as a first officer, and I started to teach Eva how to deal with the different situation on the sea, because obviously the sea is quite an environment. You have to be careful of everything. There are so many aspects to learn.
I love it. So you were doing the Sea Shepherd for 3 months. I've met a few people that have volunteered on Sea Shepherd and they found it to be incredible. Eva, what was it that you were doing on the boat? Did you have prior sailing experience, or were you doing something different?
No, so it was just around the COVID period. I was actually planning to go to Canada. I had my visa ready, and then the whole situation happened with the COVID. Then I found this opportunity to go with the Sea Shepherd, and I was like, well, why not? Let's try it. And I was a deckhand there, and so I started to learn. Then I met Pietro in the Aeolian Islands. He was basically my teacher on deck. That was my first experience on boating, and the rest is history. Then we started to dream together about this project, and yeah.
How long ago was that?
A bit more than 3 years.
3 years?
It's going to be 4 years in September.
Oh, yes, of course, COVID, yes. Wonderful. And then after that experience, you didn't straight away get this boat and start this business. You did some other boat-related work as well, right? Tell us about that.
Yes, we decided to start to work together on a sailing boat. We found an easily job on catamaran. We started in the Aeolian Islands as well, and we did the full season there. And it was mainly charter, but a little bit of also owner. I really love the charter because, the people just come to relax and have a good time. And it's just wonderful. When the dolphins show up, everyone is feeling like a little child, and it's really fun. Then we went to the Caribbean in the winter, and we did the season there. I think 6 months we stayed there. It was also charter, but mainly owner boats, which we like less. There we sailed around mainly St. Martin and St. Barth. We also went to Antigua and some other islands. We did another season in France. Yeah. And then Corsica. It was really amazing.
So may I ask, why is it that you love being on the water so much? What is it that really makes you so excited about sailing?
Well, it's really a different life. It's completely inside of the environment where you live. You have to mind all the time the wind, the sea. It's incredible. We we experience a dolphin swimming around us, which is really random because this never happened. And yeah, I mean, it's so nice to be surrounded by nature and by the living animal. It's all about the day. Every day is the same, but at the same time different. And also sailing is really romantic in a way. It's an experience that I hope for everyone to try. It's powerful. I mean, I had a motorcycle, but what sailing give you, it's unbelievable. Feeling the boat moving just with the wind, the boat heeling because of the wind and moving so fast. It's really terrific, the emotion that can give you.
I love it. I can really feel the passion that you have for this in your voice. It's really lovely to hear. So let's talk more about sailing around Sicily and the service that you offer. First of all, tell us a little bit about your boat. What kind of accommodation can people expect if they are doing a week-long sailing journey with you?
Yeah, our boat is a 16-meter sailing boat. It's actually a ketch. It has 2 masts, so it's an old-style boat. It's a classic boat, actually. It's in wooden. Our boat has 2 cabins for the guests and 1 for the crew, and 2 heads. It's not a cruise, it's a little boat, but definitely a lot of space for guests because it's 16 meters.
Is it quite a new boat or quite an old boat, Eva?
No, she's quite old for the boating world, let's say. She's from 1977.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And there's quite some around still. We actually saw also one in the Caribbean and in France. She's a very strong boat also. That's also the nice thing. They don't make these kind of boats anymore, like how she is made. You don't find it new anymore like this.
Amazing. Incredible. When travelers come to meet you and when you say goodbye to them, where does that happen? Do you have like a particular place, maybe Syracuse or Palermo, or where are people picked up and dropped off?
During summer, so when we do the weekly holiday in the Aeolian Islands, we embark and disembark in Lipari. And Lipari is the main island of the archipelago and has the main ferry traffic. There's every, I think, half an hour, at most 1 hour, but I'm pretty sure every half an hour there's a ferry that comes from Milazzo. And Milazzo has great connection with both of the airports in Sicily. There are 2 airports, Palermo and Catania. And they both have a direct connection with the train or the bus to Milazzo. Everything is actually very easy to get there. It's just, hopping on a train and then on a ferry and you're there.
Wow, that just sounds so convenient. And what is the daily routine like for guests? I'm sure you both would be working extremely hard, but I'm wondering what a normal day in the life would be like on the sailing boat. And something else I'm curious about is if it is expected that they participate in the sailing, or whether they can choose to just sit back and relax and watch you guys do it all.
So a daily routine is very difficult to make because every island is different. So volcano is an active volcano and you can swim in the bubble, or you can climb the volcano itself and have a beautiful view over it, or you can go to Panarea and walk. So usually, let's say, you wake up in a beautiful place, in an amazing place, and you just swim. You swim, and after half an hour, you have your vegan breakfast. Then you wait a little bit, and we prepare the boat just to sail for you. We make 1 hour, 1 hour and a half of sailing. Then we anchor, another beautiful swim. Then we eat. Then you relax. Then you swim again. Then we make an activity. So depending on the island, of course, everything is different. And I would like to talk about the island, actually, because they are also different and beautiful. We will see 6 out of 7 islands. As Eva said, Lipari is the main one. Is also where the biggest city is. There are 10,000 people living in there. And it's the only island where there are more than 250 souls living constantly. So all the other islands in the winter has less than 250 people living on it. So you can imagine how natural they are. Lipari is very beautiful because it has several sea stacks. So it's the remaining part of a volcano that completely eroded and showed this little rock coming out of the sea. It has a very classical and typical bay, which is white beach, the only white beach of the Aeolian. The second island that we will see is Vulcano. Vulcano is one of a kind, is also an active volcano. There are 3 different mountains on it. We usually go up on the volcano because it's amazing view and you can see the geyser of the sulfuric activity of the volcano. There is a black bay where we usually swim and we anchor in there. And close to it, there is a bay where you can swim on the bubble, on big bubbles of the volcano activity. They are super warm, so you have to be careful not to step on it because you can really get burned. Volcano has also a lot of amazing bays where we'll sleep. You can see a lot of birds and also some of the goats that still live in there. The third of the island that we will see is Filicudi. Filicudi is amazing, is where we will probably marry, me and Eva. We are planning that. It's really rustic, it's really amazing. And going to Filicudi, it's very often seen some dolphin and sometimes some whales. There are some natural places in there that attract this kind of wildlife. Also in there are faraglioni, so sea snakes. And there is an amazing cave, a huge cave where sometimes you can see some seals, even if it's not so common. Most of the bay are accessible by boat and only by boat. Filicudi, as Eva said, is really a rock in the middle of the sea. So it's not so easy to go around of it. It's basically impossible to anchor except of a place where there are buoys, but it's just in front of a fisherman village. So it's not really our destination. Then there is Panarea. Panarea is a pearl in the Mediterranean. It's definitely known all over Italy. It's so beautiful. Used to be the biggest of the island before it collapsed because of several earthquakes. So what we see now is just a part of Panarea. And it's a very, very beautiful island. You can walk and it's full of flower, full of good smell. Also, this is where the main pub and restaurant are. You can have aperitivo in the sunset with music. There are some discotheques, but there are also very classy shops. Other than there is several islands around Panama where you can anchor, where you can swim still in the bubble and in the sulfurous bubble. These, of course, they are accessible only by boat. There is no house in there. And yeah, the last 2 of the islands, one is Stromboli, is known by all the Sicilian people. It's a very powerful island. This island erupts every 15 minutes. So every 15 minutes, they will explode and make some lava, some fumes, so you can climb it safely. We can organize an excursion and basically you end up 100 meters from the mouth of the volcano. So it's one of a kind. And the scientists all over the world come to study this kind of eruption. It's unbelievable. Usually we wake up very early in the morning, so we can go there when it's still dark, place the boat, place Luna in front of the volcano and enjoy all the eruption while the sun goes up. So it's really romantic and beautiful. The last of the island is Salina. Is the greenest of the island, was loved also by several movies of the Italian culture were done in there. So every island is different. They are very beautiful. I've been sailing around the Mediterranean and Caribbean for more than 10 years. And I'm still so connected to Aeolian. I cannot get bored of them.
I love it. I love it. So it just sounds like the week will give travelers a real feeling of the Aeolian Islands, and it does sound relaxing but also active and a way to really disconnect from work and everyday stresses. It just sounds so lovely. Something I'm curious about is, Eva, can people help you sail the boat? Can they start to learn a little bit about the principles of sailing, or is it not possible for them?
When they come on board, they can choose. They can say, I want to relax, you relax. If they come on board and say, I want to learn, or I'm already a sailor and I want to try, like, go for it. We are definitely in for anything. Of course, Pietro stays the captain. That's the rule on board, is there is a captain. So you have to listen to the captain. The captain is always right. But other than that, no, we love to sail. So it's just a pleasure to let people, learn about sailing or get more experience, or to just even feel Luna, because she is an amazing boat to sail with. Try to at least keep a little bit the wheel to feel her. But yeah, it's really up to the people what they feel like doing.
Love it. I love it. Are you able to share any really memorable or unexpected experience that has happened when you've been on your boat?
I guess it already started in dry dock when we first bought the boat. She was in dry dock, and so we didn't see her from the water. We immediately fell in love with her, so we were like, okay, we buy it. And of course, little did we know, we had a lot more time and money that went into it than we first expected. I guess the first amazing experience that we both didn't really realize that was going to happen. We learned so much. We know exactly, I think, every millimeter from our boat, which is also a good thing, of course. We actually lived on our boat in dry dock, which was also quite the experience. We didn't have any running water because we basically stripped everything out. We could cook on board, but yeah, there was no running water. So every time you need to use the bathroom, you need to climb some stairs down and go 100 meters back and forth. We had also quite a storm in there.
Oh.
We were very lucky because it was hot. I don't remember how many, I think 120 kilometers an hour wind.
Wow.
And some other boats fell over.
Oh,
and we didn't. Yeah, the night it happened, I woke up and I heard the rain, and I was like, okay, I need to go and check if everything is all right, because we actually made a kind of a greenhouse out of the deck, so the deck would stay dry while we were doing works. And so I went out and I saw this whirling wind, and I was like, oh, that's not good. So I started to call Pietro. Pietro was already there by the time the wind came and pushed the plastic cover actually away. And yeah, Pietro said the boat was moving like crazy. So we just cut it the ropes of the thing and let it fly off, which we later recovered again.
Oh no.
Of course, it was a lot of rain, and a lot of rain went inside, and it was really, oh no. It was like we were sinking on land.
Oh no.
I think one of the experiences that's always going to stay with me, the feeling of, oh my God. Okay, but in the end, we got her in the water, everything is good, and then we sailed from the north. So we sailed all the way down here to Sicily. And yeah, the moment we entered Sicily, we saw dolphins and whales, just one thing after the other. And yeah, that's really amazing experience that we had on our boat. I don't know if Pietro wants to add something.
Yeah, I just love the boat, I have to say, because I will sail this boat like 5 years before we bought it. I remember that was amazing. I tried to convince Eva to buy it because of the sailing experience. And yeah, coming down to Sicily was just incredible. It was so fast, so beautiful. I call it a bullet because she is a bullet on the sea. She is so fast and beautiful and controllable. I mean, several times that we got 30 knots of wind with all the sail out, and we didn't feel scared. She was just dealing with it, and we were dealing with her. So it's very nice, fast, and strong. And that's what I want from a boat.
So for people that have never sailed before and are thinking about coming on a sailing holiday, what are some important things that they should consider before deciding to go?
Well, there is really nothing special. The only advice we always give is not to bring too much, because usually we tend to make a big luggage, while on the sailing boat you use a lot of swimming suit, and that's it. For the rest, it's just coming on board, relax, not minding too much about seasickness, because most of the people don't suffer. Just come on board, enjoy our food, enjoy the beauty of the island, try to understand what is this field that is amazing. I know that most of us Most of the vegan never experienced this. We know it because we are getting in there, and most of the people that contact us never experienced this kind of stuff. We really love it. We want to share it. And I think they should just come on board with a free mind. They're going to have a wonderful time with a lot of expectation because we have it and we want to give a lot.
Okay. So I guess I'm kind of curious about like logistics and planning. What is it that you do for food? Like what kind of access to food and produce do you have? Do you buy it all at once at the beginning of the week, or do you buy it in markets as you go to visit these places? And how do you prepare it all?
So most of the dry food we buy here, like dry lentils, chickpeas, nuts, everything like that, we buy in bulk, let's say. Yeah, it's an easy thing also to store. It doesn't go bad. But everything fresh produce and fruits, we buy in Lipari every Saturday when the last people went off and before the new people come on board. We have fresh produce. We mainly buy most of it there, but there are also other islands where you can buy some fresh fruit and vegetables. I think almost on every island. We have kind of a menu that we will follow. If I need something from the little shop and they may not have it, I need to follow out on another recipe, of course. The fruits and vegetables in Sicily are just amazing. I've never tasted anything better. Of course, in Sicily, a lot of dishes are based with tomato, like parmigiana, which is fried eggplant in layers, like a kind of a lasagna. But instead of the lasagna, it's eggplant with tomato sauce. And the original recipe, well, there are several original recipes in every region. They make it a little bit different. Then there's also another really nice dish. It's not the same, but it has the same ingredients as a caponata. That's with eggplant and capers. Capers are actually also the ones that we buy on the islands because they grow like a wild weed over there. Everywhere you go, there are plants of capers. So there's a lot of them there. It's one of the typical ingredients you can find on the islands. I would suggest also to the people that come to take a little pot from there as a gift, let's say. So yeah, Lipari, yeah, you have to be really careful if you need more food to go early in the morning. There's not really any markets or anything. There's just really the tiny store that sell everything. So they sell, cheese. Like it's not even a supermarket. It's just a little room with a little bit of everything. So yeah, that's how we deal with it.
I'm sure everyone listening to this is definitely going to be putting a sailing trip around Sicily on their bucket list. I know I have. Can you tell us when people can book the sailing trip with you? Like what times of the year are better? And maybe different parts of the year are different prices. Can you talk to that?
Yes, basically we start the season in May because Sicily is very warm. The season ends up at the end of October. It's a very long season and divided in several prices. We have 3 different prices, which is until from October until the start of May is low season. And we charge €150 per person, all included. So the boat, the skipper, the chef, the tender, the subs, the food, the insurance, and so on. And the middle season, which is May, June, and September, is going to be weekly. So 1 week from Saturday to Saturday is going to cost €1,260, always all included. For July and August, we charge €1,500.
That's really, really reasonably priced. Amazing. Thank you. Eva and Pietro, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I know it has some technical challenges joining something like a podcast recording from a boat. So I want to thank you so much for doing what needed to be done in order to get this podcast episode recorded. Before we say goodbye, can you explain to us how people can learn more about you and your website and how people might book a trip with you?
Yes, of course. So people can find us on Instagram and Facebook, but we also have a website where most of everything is explained in there. Of course, we are definitely available also to send email. So also on the website, you find our email, but also on WhatsApp. So if people want to have a call to, get to know us a little bit better, let's say, we're definitely open for that. All you got to do if you want to book a holiday with us is just text us, give us a mail, and say which period you're interested in joining and with how many people. And we will get back to you. Then we give you a contract and you will pay. So to make the booking confirmation, you pay half of the price until 2 weeks before you arrive. So yeah, that's basically how we do things.
And that's ecosailors.it, correct?
Exactly.
Excellent. This is just a really, really amazing price for what you get. And I'm just so excited by what it is that you're doing. And I can't wait to join you one day. Eva, Pietro, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
No, thank you so much for having us.